wicked system. I know it's not for me, and it doesn't mean to benefit me. But it is what it is right now. And I got to teach my kids we can do better. And I got to teach them to go out and do better. And then I got to look out for them in this system, because I know what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of work to do. Okay. I talk about kids, I don't have any. But I raised 10. I raised 5 in the house with me. And out of that 5, I got 3 in the college. 3 in and 3 out. Florida A&M University, Howard University, and Morgan State University. 3 girls, by the way. Out of that 5, there was 1 boy here, and I couldn't set horses because when I came on the scene, he was already a teenager. And I did really well just to maintain and get him out of high school. But them 3 little ones, had 1 in 3rd grade, 1 in 2nd grade, and 1 hadn't started school yet when I came on the scene. And I can call any one of them right now, and they'll tell you, yeah, Uncle Floyd did well by me. And no, he didn't spare the rod. If he promised you good, you got good. If he promised you bad, you got bad. And if you went to him and asked him for something maybe you didn't want, or you didn't need, you were going to get to talking to him. Anybody want to verify any of that? I got telephone numbers and pictures and all of that good stuff. I thank you all.
Thank you, Jimmy. Our next speaker is not an elder in terms of chronology, but I heard him speak for the first time last week, and I was able to hear him speak twice in the same week, so I asked him to come and speak today. And since he arrived after Jimmy, he'll be speaking now, because we're going in order the way that people arrived today. Jimmy wants to vote, and Patrick says we have 2 choices. Save your devil. Come on.
First of all, let me say that I'm
Yeah, one second.
okay.
Thank you.
Full name, Patrick.
Okay. First of all, my name is Patrick Alexander. I'm from Senatobia, Mississippi. And first of all, let me say that I'm honored to stand before a room full of elders. And I took down names because I think it's very important to recognize and acknowledge my elders. King Talu, this gentleman right here. You all right, brother?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Elder Nataki Ajanaku. Yes, sir, Elder. Elder Yahweh, I saw you when you came in, brother. I remember you from last Saturday. Pleasure to be among your presence. Elder Baruch. Brother Wallace Redd.
Redd.
Redd?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And my elder, Brother Jimmy Johnson. It's a pleasure to be among y'all. I'd like to start out by saying, leading off with an African proverb that suggests that the elders can see fathers sitting down, then we can see standing up. Talking to the young brothers here. Let me say it one more time. But these elders can see fathers sitting down, then we can see standing up. Then we said, I I consider myself a blacktivist and a liberator. A blacktivist and a liberator. For the sake of time, if anybody got questions about that, you can question me about that later. But I'm going to try to progress through a few things that I was writing down. And I never have a script to go by. I like feel. I care more about feel. And I got a certain feel in this room. But first of all, I'm the organizer of what we call the Black Liberation Movement. And it's a movement that I felt was very necessary in this day and time. It came to me about 6 months ago that this thing needs to start. We need to start organizing and organizing fast. So when I began to think about actually creating a movement, I began to think of some pillars that the movement should stand on. I'm just going to kind of chronologically go down these 6 pillars of liberation that I feel that this movement should be standing on. First one is a spiritual awakening. I can tell by this room that we're having a spiritual awakening. We'll go back to something about these things. Second of all is a social reform and historical re-education. After you have a spiritual awakening, resurrection of the conscience. There's some things in place that we got to reform. The social conditions that we deal in every day. We have to reform those things. The education that we get today, we have to restore those things. We have to re-educate ourselves and our children going forward. After this is done, we need to start developing some form of group economic development. We cannot function in a capitalist society if we tend to stay here, if we don't have some type of group economic development. This is must. We got to do this. After that, well, it's really not after. These are just 6 things that I'm naming that have to be done. The fourth thing is political effectiveness. And I'm going to speak to that in a second because I respect what you said, Brother Jimmy. I respect that. But the fourth thing on my list is political effect. The fifth is agricultural science and development. And the sixth is military self-defense. Now with that being said, those are the pillars that I feel Black liberation should stand on. Those are the things that I feel that we need to start dealing with. But let me just say this about this room. If we continue to have these type of settings, we don't have some means, then there's a serious gap. There's a serious condition of nothingness that we actually accomplish. Elders are for counsel. I'm for the action. And I think that brother right there said it pretty well. When white people say things, you go out and do it. You go out and do it. I posted on Facebook the other day, I said I will only answer. I have created an economic platform for myself. For myself. I'm 42 years old now, I haven't worked for anybody since I was 21. Okay? I'm not a rich man, I'm a long way from being a poor man. Okay? I'm able to empower some people. Brother standing right there, he will not leave my side. He will not leave my side. There's plenty of other brothers that I could have brought. But I wanted him to come today. He had made his own commitment to standing with me wherever I go. But what I'm trying to speak to is the economic power that me myself have built. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what church you attend, what God you pray. If you're in America and you owe white people, you still got to work to do. Because they own something that you enslaved to. I don't care what religion it is. That being said, I come to a conclusion. Because I want to be effective if possible. And I think We have got caught up in a system of conformity. I like that what Brother Talu said. What was that, brother? Structure conformity. That's right. So when we conform, we really feel like we're doing right. We fit in. I like the bravery and the chivalry that you speak to, that the brothers need to start taking on their spirit. But look around the room. Look around the room. Where they at? Okay? All right. So what I'm simply saying is that somewhere along the way, religion and education is going to have to take a back seat. Because religion and education, in my opinion, have become some of the biggest impediments for black people progress. I think it needs to be replaced with two other things. This is what I pride myself on having. And I think it's the reason why I'm probably affected. It's going to have to be replaced with love and courage. Love and courage. And what I mean by that, on my own, just going for knowledge of my own life, it was when I began to love black people that I began to study. I began to take on a great virtue of learning, absorbing. I understood what an elder was. I understood that. That's how I was able to make that distinction, Brother Johnson, between an elder and an older. Elder is somebody that can disseminate wisdom to me. An elder is somebody who actually care about my well-being, that don't see me out there in the street as a thug. I don't have time to deal with you. The product that the world had created. An elder is somebody that can disseminate this wisdom to me, and I can absorb it. I'm a very different young man. Very different young man. I see what we have on our hands. I see what we have to deal with. So love for my people began to take me on a journey. I began to take on a great virtue of trying to learn, trying to figure out what's going on. How did we get here? How are we going to get out? I began to realize that a lot of people didn't know we were in anything. They were conformed. This makes the job hard. You deal with black people that don't think they have a problem. That's a big problem. That's a big problem. So I developed the love to learn how to pay attention. I developed the love to learn how to pick a book up and start reading and absorbing what I'm reading. And I had a specific purpose doing it. It was to deliver a people, whether they understood that they had a problem or not. I knew we had a problem. When I love so much, you start to get the courage. It was a time that I didn't feel like I'd be able to stand before a group of elders like yourself and be able to say the things that I'm trying to say now and be able to make sense of it and get to some type of point where we can move forward in the progression of black people. And what I'm simply saying is that if we have this and don't have this, we're not going to get any action done. That's what the magic happens with black people. We got creative thinking. But the magic happens in the doing. The magic happens in the doing. Black people have a lot of creativity. White people know this. White people know this. But we're not doing these things anymore. And the great Amos Wilson said, you measure people's progress by what they build. You measure people's progress by what they build. Black people in America are not building nothing. To prove my point, let's think about the Egyptians. If the Egyptians didn't build a pyramid, what would you think about them? Where would they fit in the history of your mind? If the Egyptians didn't build a pyramid, who would they be to you? You measure people's progress by what they build. So what are black people building? What are we building? If you come to the conclusion that we ain't building nothing, then it's time to start. It's time to start. So what I'm simply saying is that we got a council of elders, sister. We don't have a group where these elder wisdom can be disseminated to, where the action can go out and black people can be seen by what we build. We're not doing that. So my job, you doing your job. You got the council together. I gotta do my job. I gotta do my job. The burden is on me because I understand there's a warrior class out here that we don't have control over. But just like the brother said, the army call them, they going. Okay? We gotta create an army. Anybody here know Stan Lee? Stan Lee, white man, created Marvel Comics. This setting reminds me of something that Stan Lee obviously had to study. He wrote about a superhero called the Black Panther. Y'all familiar with the Black Panther? The superhero character, Black Panther? Stan Lee wrote about the Black Panther. He created the Black Panther. But he had to study. He had to study. So what Stan Lee did, he studied and he renamed a lot of things in the creation of the Black Panther. When he referred to Africa, he didn't call it by name, he called it Wakanda. And the Black Panther's real name is T'Challa. And in the script of the Black Panther, Stan Lee wrote about the Council of Elders. It's amazing to me how white people just put out stuff right there in front of us. Right there in front of us. And the Council of Elders would sit, and the king of Wakanda had to be a warrior. But not only was he a warrior, he had to be someone who was studied under the Council of Elders. Meaning that he had to have a dual position. He had to be able to be strong enough to fight, but wise enough to counsel. Are we creating them type of orders? With this setting. With this setting. See, I'm going to absorb this. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take it back to the warrior class. I got a lot to learn here. This needs to happen more. I'm going to take it back to the warrior class. If y'all not disseminating nothing to me, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're not disseminating nothing to me. What are you doing? Everybody in this room, I was thinking about when I sit back there. Not everybody, but the majority of people in this room gonna die probably about the same time. Say that again. Everybody in this room, for the most part, they're gonna die probably about the same time. Be less than a generation. Generation being 20 years. I'm close this up. There ain't nothing else in here for me to go by. So if you're not disseminating this wisdom to me, what's gonna happen? See, I like real talk. I like real talk. Cause and effect. Not fantastic fools. It separates me even in my class though. In my age group. Them young niggas not ready to deal with this. I had to learn how to feed it to them. They ain't ready to deal with this. They crazy. Because we don't have this counsel. So I know this. So I have to come among, and I'm very grateful for the sister for inviting me here. I really feel out of place because I'm standing in front of greatness. But at the same time, I know that I'm in the right place. Because when I get here, I have to take it out to